What's up, demons and demonettes? Tis I, Trexie, Demon Queen. And today, we're talking Ravaged Realm, Dauntless Squad. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. Alright, as you can see, we are currently at a number 1. We have a 108.9 for our score, pretty up there. I'm going to show you the squad that I'm running. That is the current meta, and that is the Reese squad. So let's talk about this for a minute before we get into the details about what you should run. Now, you need to have a Reese of at least plus 10 for this squad to work. Otherwise, you're probably better off running your other squad. And I'll present to you the other squad that is the Reese alternative. Now, if you do have your Reese invested to 10, that's kind of like, I would say, the sweet spot. Because that way, at 10, I'm already high on the charts, right? I'm number 1. And I want to save up yellows for the next season, right? Because we're going to get Bonnie soon. We're going to get 2 new heroes at the very beginning of the season, right? We're getting a new Celestial Hypogean. And, we're getting another hero. So, it could be Lorson. Lorson could be big. So, we don't know what we're getting. We don't want to burn through all of our yellows, especially for a mode that is very, very rewarding. We don't need to be like a super, super high. This squad can get you up very high. It just depends the competitiveness of your district and where you want to place or what investment you need in a Reese, because again, he's not someone you're going to use frequently outside of this event. He's going to be someone that's pretty much used for this event. Someone very much like Hugin in Aurora Squad. So without further ado, let's get into it, and then we'll talk charms for the squad as well. As you can see, Seth is our big damage dealer. So obviously investing in Seth earlier in the season has paid many dividends throughout the season. He's proven to be a very, very valuable hero this season, especially with the Muller tiles and the other various game modes where he's really shown up. So having an invested Seth here is big, right? He's your primary damage dealer in this squad. And then we have our Reese, we have our Mikola, our Shakir, and our Karuger. And one of the big things that Reese is doing besides providing an okay amount of damage is with his mythic set. He debuffs the boss, right? Increase target's damage taken by 25% for 8 seconds and reduce their vitality. This can, after dealing damage to the target 2 times, this effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds, right? So he places a debuff on the boss, very similar to like a Brian, right? So it's or Lily May kind of does the same thing. So they debuff the boss, and that's very helpful, but we still need him to be able to generate damage, right? That's the other thing. Alright, and then on the back end, we're running a Smoky, Elsa, and Odie. Alright. So for Kruger, we just have a set. I don't have his best ideal set. I'm not going to be worried about that. He's not really doing too much. Maybe we'll get his set up for the next time that this comes around. We have a Shakir with his Mystic. We have Mikola with Arcane. Reese, again, don't have his ideal set yet. We'll work on that for the next time. So we're just running a Rainbow Charms there. And then Seth has Mystic. Then on the back end, we have Smokey with the flower ones. You can run what's it, Insight instead. They're kind of the equivalent. One does plus ult, one does plus skill, one does plus healing, one does plus skill. So they're kind of like almost the same. So it doesn't really matter what you run. Elsa, you want to run a Bloodlust. If you run Overload, she will do more damage, but it results in Odie doing a far less damage. So the trade-off just isn't there. You're losing 7 to gain 5, which doesn't math out. Odie, and then we're going to run a Gale. Alright, let's take a look at the formations. Alright, so Kruger is going to be up in the top corner here. You're going to have Seth and Reese in the back with a Shakir over here, and then Mikola over to the side. Then another setup here is going to be Smokey up front, Odie to the back, Elsa to the back. We're running Arcane Spell here, and I don't know if you saw it, but we're running Frontliner on the first one. And that's the setup for that one. You've seen the fight. No, they're not going to live to the end. Don't expect them to. At 38 investment, you know, if I had the extra HP, would we get a little bit extra damage? Potentially, because then maybe everybody would live longer. And so we have to see if we can get that. The problem is that we need to spread out our talent essence, and we only get so much, right? So we got to get Dauntless we built up for their run. We want to have Sylvan built up for their run tomorrow. Then we need a Lightbearer and Celestial Hypogenian for push, right? We can minimize a Graveborn on the off days when we're not running Immortal Squad to potentially, hopefully, make it so we have a less and less of resets, right? So that's one of the things that we're focusing on, is trying to reset less and less. That way we can min-max our damage each and every day for each and every squad. And again, we're number 1, so it's not that big of a concern. Now, if you don't have your Reese built up, you can run this squad. It's pretty consistent at a 106. I managed to RNG a 108 when I first ran it early on. So we're going to take a look at that. Again, now this time we're running a Smoky instead of a Reese. So then we're going to use a Coco on the back end. So let's take a look at this formation. Right. So again, Kruger and Seth, they don't move. Shakir's in the same, he's back in the poor slot now. And then you have just Smokey and Makola up front with Frontliner. Makola and Smokey aren't going to live to the end, but this is the optimal positioning and gets you the best damage. Now on the back end, we just flip-flop these two and then stick a Coco in the middle. I can note that if you don't have a Bloodlust Charms, here you can run Overload. What's going to happen is you're going to have an inverse relationship. So if Elsa runs Overload, Elsa will do more damage and Odie will do less damage. If you run Bloodlust, Odie will do more damage and Elsa will do less damage. It comes out to be about the same when I did the flip-flop. Again, we did a little bit less damage on the front end. What is key here is if Shakir can pop off for you, that'll be the big factor. Then again, to Seth doing a lot of damage also helps. So that's it for that. We've already seen it in action. We don't need to replay this video over and over and over. It's the same fight and nothing changes, just the heroes. Sadly, a Burial did not work out. I'm a little disappointed. He's a heavily invested character for me, so him not working, very, very disappointing. But that's it for this one. We'll provide updated squads again for Sylvan and Aurora when they drop. One thing we're doing is testing Aurora. We're going to test Hugin at the different price points and to determine what is best, because he's not a very good hero. And then we'll do a fresh Immortal squad. We get Bonnie. And that's it for this one. I will catch you next time. Bye!